Is your mind a runaway train? It's 3 a.m., and instead of sleeping, you're replaying a conversation from Tuesday, picking apart every single word. You're imagining a dozen disastrous outcomes for a meeting that isn't even on the calendar. This isn't problem solving, it's a prison. And the most exhausting part, you're both the inmate and the warden. But what if I told you the key to unlocking that cell door is already in your pocket? That feeling of being trapped in your own head where your thoughts are stuck in a relentless spinning loop. It's a feeling so many of us know all too well. It's called overthinking, and it's so much more than just a bad habit. It's a cycle that robs you of your energy, spikes your anxiety, and yanks you out of the present moment. Research confirms that overthinking, or rumination, can seriously harm our ability to make decisions and is strongly linked to anxiety and depression. Get stuck in analysis paralysis, where the fear of making the wrong move keeps you from making any move at all. But here's the truth that can change everything. You don't have to fix your mind. You don't have to wrestle your thoughts into submission. Real, lasting peace isn't about winning a war inside your head. It's about realizing you were never at war to begin with. This is your invitation to start a journey that rewires your relationship with your mind, not by fighting the noise, but by learning to tune into the silence that's already there. Clarity starts right here, right now. Section 1. The problem. Understanding the overthinking loops. So why do our brains get stuck in these loops? At its core, overthinking is usually a misguided attempt by our brain to protect us. It's wired for survival, constantly scanning for threats, planning and analyzing. This is a brilliant skill when you're facing real danger. The problem is, in our modern world, this system gets hijacked. It starts treating a critical comment from your boss, a vague text message, or an uncertain future like a life or death situation. This process usually breaks down into two categories: ruminating about the past and worrying about the future. Ruminating is when you're stuck replaying events, endlessly picking apart your mistakes and cringy moments. Worrying is when your mind shoots forward, cooking up catastrophic what-if scenarios that almost never come true. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. One study found that a staggering 73% of adults between 25 and 35 are chronic overthinkers. The issue is this mental rehearsal doesn't lead to insight. It leads to burnout. It creates a state of emotional chaos where you feel constantly on edge, drained, and disconnected from any joy in the present. Your thoughts are supposed to be tools, but they've become traps. Recognizing that you're in a trap is the very first step to dismantling. Section 2. The agitation. The true cost of a cluttered mind. Living in a constant state of overthinking isn't just mentally tiring. It has real tangible costs. Just think about it. How many opportunities have slipped by because you overanalyzed yourself into a state of panic? Maybe you didn't go for that job because you talked yourself out of it, convinced you weren't qualified for it. Or maybe you held back in a relationship, endlessly trying to guess what the other person was thinking. This mental static wrecks your sleep, leaving you exhausted and unable to focus. It puts a strain on your relationships because you're not really there with the people you care about. If you're lost in the maze of your own mind, it can even mess with your physical health. You can eat all the kale in the world and hit the gym every day. But if you don't address the non-stop negative chatter in your head, you'll never feel truly well. The sneakiest part of overthinking is that it feels productive. You think you're working on the problem, but 99% of the harm is happening inside your head, created by your own thoughts. The problem is rarely the problem. The real problem is the way you're thinking about it. It's a cycle of self-doubt and fear that keeps you stuck, playing small and disconnected from your own life. Peace is found in accepting what you can't change, but overthinking keeps you in a fight with reality itself. Section 3. The solution. Practical tools for lasting clarity. Breaking free isn't about finding some magic off switch for your thoughts. It's about changing your relationship with them. It's about shifting from being controlled by your thoughts to simply being an observer of them. Here are 3 powerful, practical ways to start making that shift today. Shift 1. From reaction to awareness with mindfulness. The bedrock of clarity is mindfulness. And all mindfulness is the simple practice of paying attention to the present moment without judging it. It's not about emptying your mind. It's about noticing your thoughts without getting swept away by them. One of the easiest ways to start is with mindful breathing. The next time you feel that familiar spiral of overthinking start to spin up, just pause. If you can, close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and a long, slow breath out through your mouth. Really focus on the physical sensation of your breath. When your mind wanders in, trust me, it will gently notice where it went and then guide it back to your breath. Simple act is a powerful circuit breaker. It anchors you in the here and now, creating a little bit of space between you and your thoughts. You can also practice this anywhere. When you're washing the dishes, notice the warm water and the smell of the soap. When you're walking, feel your feet hitting the ground. These small moments of presence build up your mental resilience, making your mind a healthier place. Shift 2. From internal chaos to external clarity. With journaling, your mind can feel like a messy room with 1,000 thoughts bouncing off the walls. Journaling is how you start to tidy up. Getting your thoughts out of your head and onto paper gives them somewhere to go so they stop circling endlessly. You don't need a fancy notebook or a perfect habit, just grab a pen. A great technique is the worry dump. Set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes each day and just write. Pour out all the anxieties, the what-ifs, and the mental replays. Once they're on the page, you can look at them more objectively. Go through your list and ask, what can I actually control, and what's out of my hands? For the things you can control, brainstorm one small concrete step you can take. For the things you can't, the act of writing them down helps you acknowledge them and then consciously let them go. Doing this before bed can be a game changer for your sleep. Shift 3. From negative loops to empowered reframing. Overthinking loves to feed on negative and distorted thought patterns. We catastrophize, imagining the absolute worst-case scenario, or we engage in black and white thinking. Cognitive reframing is the practice of challenging these thoughts and intentionally choosing a more balanced view. When you catch yourself in a negative thought loop, ask a few direct questions. Is this thought actually helpful? What's the hard evidence that this is true? Is there another more realistic way to look at this? For instance, if you're obsessing over a mistake at work and telling yourself, my boss must think I'm an idiot, challenge that thought, or frame it to something more balanced, like, I made a mistake. I can learn from it. This one moment doesn't define my entire worth or performance. This isn't about toxic positivity. It's about stopping the mental horror movies we direct for ourselves and seeing the whole picture. You can also practice self-compassion. Talk to yourself the way you'd talk to a good friend. Acknowledge your feelings and remind yourself, I am doing my best, or may I accept myself just as I am. This journey to a clearer mind is a practice, not a one-time fix. It's about taking small, consistent steps day after day. If this conversation resonated with you and you're ready to take back control from your overthinking mind, hit that subscribe button. We're building a community of people who are committed to finding peace and presence in a pretty chaotic world. And we really want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Which of these shifts are you going to try first? The mindful breathing, the worry dump, or the reframing questions? Sharing what you're going to do is a powerful first step. Breaking free from overthinking, burnout, and all that emotional noise isn't about becoming a totally different person. It's about coming back to the person you've always been underneath all that chatter. It's about realizing that clarity isn't something you have to go out and find, something you simply allow to surface. The peace you're searching for isn't waiting for you in some perfect future where all your problems are solved. It's right here, in the present moment, in the space between your breaths, in the choice to observe your thoughts instead of letting them consume you. The thoughts will still pop up. Life will still be uncertain, but you will have the tools and the awareness to navigate it all with a calmer, clearer mind. You can finally step off that runaway train and just watch it pass by. Your journey to lasting peace doesn't start tomorrow or next week. It starts right here in this moment, with your very next breath. Thanks for watching. Please share this video with anyone who could use it. Sign up for our weekly newsletter for more clarity instead of chaos. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and watch another video of ours that's coming up now.